Caring for the elderly has never been so important. Life expectancy in the world is increasing, and as a result, the population of the elderly is also increasing. As you can see on this graph that measures the population of people aged 60 over time, the population has been steadily getting older and is predicted to continue to do so at an even faster rate. The mental and physical symptoms of aging itself are dangerous, but even more alarming, aging is a primary risk factor for many neurological diseases, such as Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and other cardiovascular and muscular diseases. The mental health symptoms of aging have to do with behavioral and anxiety disorders, depression, and changes in mood. Elderly also experience cognitive decline, which is to say their executive functions or higher cognitive skills such as memory, self-control, and organization become harder to use and are less effective. Physical symptoms include reduced joint mobility and flexibility, worsened balance and coordination, and problems with body composition, such as increased body fat while reducing bone health. Now, one of the best ways to help the older population slow the progression of these symptoms is through exercise. But with so many options for exercise, choosing the right one can be difficult. But today I'll be explaining why dance therapy is one of the best exercise options for the elderly to help with physical and mental symptoms while allowing them to enjoy the entire process. But before I discuss how dance can improve the elderly's well-being, I'll introduce you to dance therapy. As defined by the American Dance Therapy Association, dance therapy is the psychotherapeutic use of movement to promote emotional, social, cognitive, and physical integration of the individual for the purpose of improving health and well-being. Now, I'm going to take some time to explain to you what dance itself is and why it's different from other aerobic exercises. Dance and other aerobic exercise are similar in that they're forms of cardiorespiratory exercise and engage the entire body. But they diverge in that dance has more intricate movement, which requires higher level thinking. It's a sequence or routine rather than a single continuous motion. There are also less skills needed to dance, and it's a less injury prone form of exercise. And finally, its free nature allows for expression and creativity. Keep these attributes that distinguish dance in mind throughout the entire presentation, as these contribute to the benefits that I'll be highlighting. The first aspect in which dance battles the effects of aging is by reducing the risk of falls. 1/4 of the elderly population fall every single year, resulting in 32,000 deaths and also $50 billion of associated hospitalization costs. Given these facts, falls are extremely dangerous to the immediate and the future health of the elderly, and it's crucial to find a way to prevent them. In a study measuring how dance affects the rate of falls, they found that only 9.9% of participants in the group which danced fell, while 20.8% of those in the non-dancing group fell. Another study found that within the dancing group, the rate of falls after the study was less than the starting number of falls, providing more evidence that dance reduces the rate of falls. Now, you may be wondering why there's that correlation between the reduced rate of falls and dancers, and that's because participants improve their locomotion and mobility, which I've divided into 3 categories. Gait is an individual's pattern of walking, and this progressed with dance as people's step length, stride length, and step height, and also the symmetric use of their lower extremities all improved. And these are aspects of a faster and more stable gait, which takes me to the second aspect, balance. Dance increases the limits of stability, which is to say how far they can lean multidirectionally before losing their balance. Dancers also swayed less, shifted their weight more easily, and stayed balanced despite external factors like a nudge to the chest. Other attributes of locomotion, such as agility, endurance, and leg strength, also improved for the elderly who danced. Now, besides mobility, there are numerous other physical benefits to dance therapy that are specifically helpful to the older populations, and I'll just give a few examples. Osteoporosis is a condition that reduces bone density, making it easier for fractures to occur, sometimes even with just a sneeze. However, dance can improve bone density for people with osteoporosis, lowering that risk of injury. Elderly also have a harder time maintaining their weight as their metabolism slows with age. However, those who danced also achieved a healthier weight with an average decline of over 6 pounds in a 12-week study. Older participants also improved their functional independence. This means that those who danced were better able to get out of bed, put on a shirt, and do other daily tasks vital to an independent lifestyle. Now, that covers the major physical benefits dance therapy has for the elderly population, which takes me to the major neurological and mental health benefits. First, dance can help improve neurological health by reducing the risk of neurological disease. Dementia is a neurological disorder that affects 14% of the older population and worsens executive functions, especially memory. There are many types of dementia, and in almost all of them, genetics plays a very minor role. For example, less than 1% of all people with Alzheimer's disease, a type of dementia, genetically inherited it, suggesting that there are ways to reduce its risk. Dementia often develops in stages, and one of those is known as mild cognitive impairment, abbreviated as MCI, which affects around 15 to 20% of the elderly population. This can then go on to progress into dementia, though some with MCI do remain stable. Now, research suggests that dance is able to affect this pathway in two different places. First, dance may reduce the risk of a healthy adult developing MCI. And secondly, dance may even reduce the risk of those with MCI to then go on to develop dementia. Now, dance also enhances the cognitive abilities of the older population. Dancers were better at switching attention or multitasking, which is possibly due to the nature of dance that requires coordination between movement and music. Those who danced also improved their selective attention, which means being able to focus on just one thing and drowning out any surrounding disturbances. Their reaction time also improved, as well as their visual spatial skills, which is the ability to navigate the surrounding environment. Now, a study attempted to explain the reduced risk of disease and the improved mental capabilities by analyzing structural changes in the brain. But before that, I'll explain how the brain changes over time. Brain atrophy, which is the degeneration of brain tissue, automatically occurs with age. In this figure, there are two brain images, with the one on top being from a young adult and the one on the bottom being from a senior citizen. And as you can see, the volume in the brain is significantly lower for the older adult. Atrophy is one reason why the elderly have a harder time using executive functions. Now, this study found that dance increases the volume in regions on the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe, while sports and other exercise increases the volume of the cerebellum. Now, at first glance, it seems like sports and dance both have the same effect in aging, since both are increasing the volume of the brain. But actually, those who are aging are losing volume in their frontal and temporal lobe, not in their cerebellum, which means that dance is directly combating those effects of aging because it increases the volume of the brain which is lost during aging, while sports and other exercises impact regions of the brain that aren't as relevant to aging. And thus, scientists hypothesize that the reason elderly who dance improve their executive functions and have less risk of neurological diseases is because dance is slowing that process of atrophy. Now, despite physical and mental benefits, what's vital for any therapy is for elderly to have the motivation to commit to it. And the nature of dance keeps senior citizens motivated to exercise. Now, studies with numerical results from surveys showed that participants love dancing. Therapy also served as a distraction from the stress in their lives while allowing for social interaction. In fact, one therapist noted the bonds they develop through dance. They really truly see the beauty in each other because of whatever's connecting with their heart through the music and dance. Dance is also inclusive by nature. There's no strict form or right or wrong way to dance, as one therapist says. Finally, exploring dance styles of different cultures can be interesting for participants and spark discussions about not only the dance style, but the culture and the society as well. And now that I've covered the primary benefits of dance, I wanted to revisit a statement I made at the beginning of the presentation. Dance is the best form of exercise for the elderly. In numerous studies, while dance was used for the experimental group, the control group underwent another form of exercise. However, in every single study, dance showed great results compared to the other exercise. To give a few examples, more senior citizens were interested in dance compared to a standard fall prevention program. And tango improved walking speed and walking stability more than in the actual program of only walking. I've spoken about dance in a general way, explaining its beneficial impact on the well-being of elderly. However, within the umbrella of dance, there are certain ways to maximize its impact. And the first one is using a combination style program. Tango, Scottish country dance, line dancing, and around 20 other styles were used in just the sample of studies I researched. The plethora of styles allows participants to choose what they find comfortable and enjoy. Combination programs were very successful in improving the participants' ability to switch their attention compared to programs that just used one style of dance. Multitasking ability was the only variable measured in studies, but it's likely that other executive functions are affected in a similar way when using a combination style program. Using multiple styles and switching them will also challenge even the most experienced dancers and expose participants to a variety of types of movement. Improvisation is also extremely important. As stated by Klimova 2020, The more decisions one has to make, the better the improvement of cognitive abilities. Participating in a group helps improve the dancer's ability to communicate and express themselves in a comfortable environment. Also, having an experienced instructor allows you to learn complex choreography with intricate movement that'll challenge your body and your brain. And finally, dancing with music has been proven to improve cognitive abilities more than just exercise alone. Now, dance has the ability to slow the progression of aging in healthy adults and the mental and physical symptoms that come with it, such as impaired cognitive abilities, greater risk of diseases, and issues with mobility and functional independence, all while motivating the elderly to exercise through dance. Research shows that dance can also be helpful in adults who have diseases such as those with Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and even the visually impaired. And even though more research is required for other styles of dance, using other types of music, and measuring other variables like memory, the current research provides evidence that dance is a new and unique tool that can be added to the existing toolbox of programs that the elderly use to prevent the dangers and difficulties that come with aging. Thank you.